Islam family, peace and love. I'm gonna go in today real quick. Give a little breakdown. Um, Everyone can see, the meme got up here. When you piece together status correction without knowing the difference between public and private, that's what it looks like. This is what a lot of these processes of morals look like out here, where basically they're finding all kinds and bits of information that they're piecing together, putting together, and they're trying to find remedy, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the thing is, people don't understand the different venues that they're going into. They're not catching on to basically, exactly as stated, the difference between public and private. And I did a pretty good breakdown on my Patreon maybe a week or two ago on that, so you can go back and check that out. Anyone that is not on there, definitely go check out my Patreon page, get a hold to my classes. Um, I get a lot of people that basically ask me, do I teach classes? Do I have books and things of that sort there? My classes are Patreon videos pretty much. You can go on there, and that is the best place to really get a further in-depth breakdown of these different things that I'm talking about, because YouTube, you can't really go in as deep on certain topics, or they start shooting penalties and points at you, demonetizing videos, or videos just won't get the amount of viewership due to them not being advertised and published in the same manner. They basically find certain content more, I don't want to say harmful, but I'll say not aligned with, in particularly, what their platform is about, or lined up with the beliefs of the ones that created that platform. So we have to understand, as we're posting and as y'all even looking for certain information, that it's going to be hard to find certain things on certain platforms, because these people don't want the information to be disseminated. So when certain people do put the information out, it may get taken down, or you may search for it and just not find it, because one, is not popular, and two, that they're suppressing it. There's information out here that they really don't want getting out, just to be totally honest. um and I want to help. I want people to do good in their endeavors. You know, a lot of people are coming to me with a lot of questions. Everybody wants to talk to me on the phone, and if you haven't set up a consultation with me, it's real hard to get onto the phone with anybody that's not scheduled a time. Even my family, they hardly understand, because it's so many people trying to get at me right now. Um, Also, I've set up another email, people, so I'm testing it out right now, and basically, I'm gonna be able to bring in more help and have a specific email for just orders in particularly. So people looking for tracking numbers and things of that sort, it's gonna be more efficient for that. You know, and definitely have a few other updates coming very soon. Um, we just had a restructuring on the pricing on the services we're offering, as well as we're offering more and more services to the people. More videos coming on that real soon. I really wanted to just make this real short and get a little information out to people, and maybe it'll motivate a few people to one, study more into public versus private when it comes to status correction, and two, motivate people to really see the status correction process all the way through. Because it's a lot of people that you know they're half-assing it, and that's the easiest way I could probably put it. When you want to do budget status correction, um, but have full loyal diplomatic rights or diplomatic status. You know, this is what Moors look like when they step into courts, um, thinking just a nationality card and one affidavit alone is going to dissolve or dismiss the case if you haven't done much more into not only your status correction but also into fighting the case. I mean, this is what Moors look like when they're on the road traveling and they're acting like Europeans don't want to show any documentation whatsoever, don't want to show ID and say, you have no right to be messing with me. It's just, you look half-assed like this picture here. This is, you know, it's sad to say, but this is what a lot of Moors look like that are standing up, on their half-assed processes. You're getting out here and you're not following proper procedure. And this is the biggest thing that I try and teach to people. And it really matters when it comes to public and private. There are different processes, and you can find remedy in both. But the thing is, if you don't assert yourself or not willing to study under certain people and take the things that they're giving you all the way, people want to say, okay, I understand this, I'll do this bit, I'll do this piece, but then don't want to fully find out what's going on. And not just that, a lot of these people that are teaching status correction, they will look into certain processes only so far. So they'll see, okay, this here looks to be the remedy, so I'll create a template for this type of document. But then they won't look into uh, other documents internationally that fall into that same line and venue of law and see how they compare and see, do you meet all requirements lawful globally, in this topic. That's the difference, in the details and the shading of the back of the horse as compared to somebody scribble scratching on the front, where the head, is just like some random template that somebody threw together with their knowledge and based on another template, as opposed to somebody that's broken down a procedure, all the way through the structure, deconstructed the paperwork and reconstructed it for the purpose of Moors and for our status correction, public versus private, and knowing the difference. This is the difference in approach to what was going on. So, you know, people want to get, just a nationality card, lowest possible price, and then, think that they have the full rights, that our ancestors had and diplomatic status, not knowing the difference between the loyal rights and diplomatic status, and that there is a difference, that they're not one and the same. Another topic that I've done a video on my Patreon, y'all can go check that out. But it's the difference between actual Moorish status and diplomatic status. Diplomatic status being corporate and revocable. It when you actually know the difference, is funny. To think that people even say that they want diplomatic status, but it's cute because they don't know any better. They've never actually studied into these topics. They have no clue of the status that the prophet brought to the world concerning the Moorish Americans and how it's applicable to us now, or even knowing how to take steps towards it. Like, yeah, I wouldn't believe how many Moors I bumped into that never even heard of the Pan American Conference. So if you claiming any type of status as a Moor, but you never even heard of that diplomatic conference. You might want to get back up on it and study, everyone after that and see how they mention it, um, and even how they change things. How it's no longer the Pan African um, conference. It's now UN such and such. You know how they totally restructured. Don't understand. That ties into everything that's going on right now into the bankruptcy. You know, it's so many people. They want to discharge. You know, but when I ask what's your nationality, they don't understand how that ties into it and how Moors, have full faith and credit. Just like anybody can get full faith and credit, but why do Moors in particular have full faith and credit? Who was the bankruptcy? Listen carefully. Who was the bankruptcy to? Meaning, in this question, who did the United States who was the United States original creditor? Answer on my Patreon. All right. I think I'm in it for now. Peace and love, family.